is going on, everybody? It is your boy, back at it with yet another review. And yesterday I was able to check out a 2-day early screening of Tron Ares, and I'm reviewing it here today. But before you get into beginning of the video, what's up, guys? Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel, because number one, it's absolutely free. Number two, also maybe help the YouTube algorithm, and I recommend that visiting more people, maybe they could join. And do feel free to comment your thoughts on Tron Ares down below. With that being said, guys, we're going to as well. You guys might realize I'm in a completely different setup. So, and for the reason of that is because in my room currently there is a dresser that is going to be moved, which is the usual dresser that I film all my movie reviews on. And currently right now I'm in it used to be the guest room, but now it's the work room. So I have a completely different setup. I'll show you guys right here. As you guys can see, this is what I'm kind of working with here. There's my little YouTube banner that my mom got me, and then also I got this gaming chair, which thank you for that. And then this is all the I also do my schoolwork in here too, so there's that. But as you guys can see, my room's still here, so yeah, but that's going away probably in the next few days, so that won't be here anymore. So I'll still do gaming videos in here because I usually have the camera set up over there, and then I film them from over there, and then they kind of capture the TV there. Anyways, my point is that all my movie reviews and my ranking videos will be filmed in here from now on, unless if they're in short form, of course. So, just wanted to give you guys a little update on that, why I'm in a different setting. But before we get into the actual beginning of the review of the film itself, let's give a quick plot synopsis, shall we? So, transition into Zamia.
Mankind encounters AI beings for the first time when a highly sophisticated program, Ares, leaves the digital world for a dangerous mission in the real world.
So with Tron Ares, I never watched the original Tron until a couple of days ago, and I was not familiar with that movie. But I grew up watching Tron Legacy. I loved that film, and I think that's generally great. And definitely tied with the Avatar movies for one of the best looking movies over the last couple of years. So I really do enjoy that film. And when they announced this a while back, I was going, okay, I'm not really that excited for it. I don't know what you're going to do next, because I'm not really a big Tron guy, even though I do love Tron Legacy. So I was very curious what they were going to do with the story. Then the cast got announced, and I was a little bit weirded out too, because they announced Jared Leto as the main character and Evan Peters as the antagonist role, which that as well did kind of make me go, okay, shouldn't the roles be reversed? I feel like Evan Peters should be the main character, and then Jared Leto should be the antagonist. But anyways, went in kind of excited to see the visuals. The trailers looked fine, but I was definitely excited to see this thing in Dolby 3D, which I ended up seeing it in. So, with that being said, let's see what I thought about the actual movie itself, shall we? Alright, so starting off with the first good thing I have to say about this movie is the soundtrack by 9 Inch Nails. Now, Daft Punk was really hard to beat with the Tron Legacy soundtrack, so I had every mindset that probably 9 Inch Nails wouldn't be better than them. But they do come very, very close. I'm not familiar with their music, but their music in this was awesome. And I thought their music fit well in the Tron world perfectly. One thing, too, that I did come for the movie for was the visuals, and it did deliver. With the world of the grid is very fascinating, even though I will admit in this movie you don't get a whole entire lot of it, because most of it is the grid coming to Earth. But the little bits and pieces of it that you get and the technology that you get introduced, I think is all visually stunning, and they did a great job at incorporating a lot of the stuff that worked with Tron Legacy into this film here. The action scenes too, I thought were quite solid overall as a whole. You don't get a whole lot of them. You more get chase sequences, but the ending battle that you do have in the movie, I thought that the main fight that you have, I thought that was pretty well choreographed, and I wasn't expecting to see that in a Tron movie, so that definitely worked. And I do think as well, this movie as a whole does set up the future of the franchise quite well if we are going to get more movies after this. So yeah, it did a great job at that. But that is the good done. Now let's move on to the mixed aspects. And the mixed aspects are technically like two of the same. They're the same exact thing technically. I have the characters and the acting. The characters themselves, I do think they're okay at best. Like, Ares as a character is fine. He's basically just a rip-off Terminator at this point, and then there's probably a couple other obvious copycats of this character that he copied off of, for sure. And I do think Evan Peters' villain is alright, but aside from that, I didn't think any of the other side characters stood out. And why I'm like okay about Ares in this movie is just because more with the acting by Jared Leto that you have in here, which I do think as a whole probably might be how the character's written to be, where in Jared Leto's performance he's very like stoic and kind of feels emotionless at times, but that might be a part of the character. Where I was going, is he doing what the character is supposed to be doing? Because I do know that Jared Leto is an Oscar-winning actor, of course. He won a Best Supporting Actor for Dallas Buyers Club. I believe that's what the movie was called, with Matthew McConaughey in it. So I do know he's capable of being a good actor, so I don't think it's him not wanting to care about the movie. I just think it's probably the way they write the character. I didn't think made him stand out as a character much. So yeah, mixed. That is the mix. So the parts I'm 50-50 about the film are. And now we unfortunately move on to the bad. The first one is there is a couple of moments throughout this movie that does have some very bad instances of ADR.
Am I saying it's Madam Web levels of bad? No, but there is some instances of ADR that did not look good or fluent at all. But for the most part, it wasn't all ADR, which was nice. Even though they could have tightened up those parts of the movie a little bit.
I thought this movie did feel a little too fan servicey at times, especially when you get we saw it in the trailers, so this isn't a spoiler or anything, but we saw a glimpse of it in the trailers where they end up going back to the grid of the original Tron movie with Jeff Bridges there, that I did find maybe a little too fan servicey. So like that kind of was going, yeah, that feels a little forced there. The story itself, this is probably like a minor negative, but it's nothing to write home about. It's definitely riffing on some other stories for sure. And for my final negative I have is the dialogue and that you have in this. I do think it is a little rough at times, I will say, at least. Because there's some sentences that are said that you just, what? Okay, that didn't feel like a real human being there. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's just my thoughts on Tron Ares. Let's bring out the text. And I still enjoyed my time with this. I'm gonna give it a toxic goodness, a B. It doesn't come anywhere close to Tron Legacy for me, but I did overall like it more than the first Tron, which I know is going to be a very hot take when I drop my ranking tomorrow. But yeah, it was decent enough. If you are planning to see it at least once, I would definitely recommend seeing it at least in theaters, because that would definitely add to the experience, especially seeing it in Dolby 3D. I thought definitely was the way to go, where the movie looked awesome in that context, where it's one of those rare occasions where seeing a movie in 3D is actually warranted, along with the Avatar movie. So yeah, if you're definitely seeing this in theaters, I would definitely recommend seeing it in Dolby 3D, because that's the way I saw it, and I thought it totally worked for the film. But as I said before, ladies and gentlemen, that's just my thoughts on Tron Ares. Be sure to let me know your thoughts on the film down below, and stay tuned for my big ranking that I have tomorrow as well. But with that being said, guys, I'll see y'all next one, everybody. Peace.